This one's out to the heads that know. Never been seen like jet black snow. When I'm on stage with the mic in my hand, got the vibe with the gang and the rest lot know. Living in peace, use breath control, and if I'm in deep, let's tread that slow. Don't come with a next angle. Got more sides in the rectangle. All that past, just let that go. Turn off the lights, don't end that show. Look wrong, dance floor, show gets live-o. I see pyros, I see smoke. Graveyard shift, that's set in stone. Stepping stones, I'm stepping slow. Come to the venue, bless them go. My DJs come to let them know.
This video is for informational purposes only and is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Welcome back, YouTube. This is Eric at Studio 182 Pro with Austin Oral Parabolic 33 live streaming in the house. With us tonight is Joshua. Here is RN, and he's here to take on a shit ton of questions that we have because last week was actually supposed to be a Q&A, but we never got to it. So we're going to hit those tonight. It's good to see that people are showing up early. We already got 10. Feel free to drop some comments in the chat. We'll start saying hi to people. Austin, what's going on, man? I just started working out, mad sore. I was talking to Josh. He's been training for 18 months. I was like, hey, did you get sore when you started? He's like, no, not really. And then he mentioned this, what was it called?
Basically, it's just flexing. Like you basically do flexing training for like 2 weeks or so before you start your back onto the weightlifting.
Right.
It's for some reason it tends to avert the DOMS feeling that everybody gets, delayed onset muscle soreness.
Yeah. The soreness is just kind of comes and goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if you introduce a new novel thing, if you took time off training, it's like guaranteed though.
Oh,
You're gonna have it.
I just mean for the people coming back, like he was coming back to the gym from long train off, and then he hasn't done anything. If you do the flex training beforehand and during the sets, you tend to avoid that DOMS when you're first coming back. But yeah, you're right. Anything new, definitely gonna have a new stimulus. You're definitely gonna feel some new soreness, which is great. Well, kind of what you want, you know.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Austin, are you aware that you're vertical right now?
Yeah, I am. I just had to do something.
That's all right, man. Do what you gotta do.
I'm gonna turn my camera off.
Austin was without power or some shit and no internet. That's why we came on a bit late.
Yeah, we're good. I still got my auto. I'm gonna turn my camera back on in a second. I just want to not hold it. So, but let's just we'll keep rolling because I know what I wanted to tackle. There was a lot of these questions that I was really excited about. And I really well, I'll just be honest, I have like pride in the the things that I've talked about that are exciting to me. And I'm like very excited to get like people's takes on things like that. Just because they're not like the default position, like for example with the alpha-1 blockade and doxazosin. I just want to take in the engagement of like what people think, and Josh is somebody who could definitely do that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking for that question that you were talking about, Austin.
Yeah, it's
doxazosin is question 4 or 5. 4 is about the kidneys, and 5 I think is about the kidneys as well.
All right, well, why don't we go ahead and hit number 4 real quick here? I'll put it in the chat, and then I will read this out loud actually while I'm doing that. So how do you monitor kidney health beyond standard creatinine tests? I'm interested in silent markers like Cystatin C and urinary albumin, especially after your recent videos on this topic.
Right. So the way that I go about that is you can kind of triangulate your glomerular filtration rate by doing it with 3 markers. You got creatinine on like a standard CBC, but you also got the new one, well, not new, but what everybody is talking about is like creatinine for bodybuilders. So Cystatin C is like a better proxy for bodybuilders to measure kidney function. There's also the endothelial, like more global endothelial health marker, ADMA / SDMA. It's like S-dimethyl something arginine.
Yeah,
and you can kind of like get a more complete picture like that. And then the albumin thing, that was novel, like that I've kind of been noticing that big guys, especially when they grow fast, get a low albumin level.
Body's using your protein, but your urinary albumin is the best one for your kidneys. Like it's your immediate canary, because if your number is over 30, then you're probably accruing damage.
Yep.
And if it's over 300, your kidneys are dying rapidly.
Yep.
I did put that book up that does have everything that you need to do for those things, but it's things you want to avoid. Reason you want Cystatin C is because Cystatin C is a molecule that all of your cells just release normally, and like 99.99% of it comes out through the kidneys. So that just tells you your filtration rate, kind of how they read off of that. But yeah, urinary albumin. Go ahead.
What do you think about the albumin level in terms of?
I want it under 30.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For urinary, yeah. Because the albumin is the actual protein inside of your inside of your kidneys that is keeping the gradient and allowing you to pass shit out. So if the albumin's coming out, then the protein has broken holes in through your nephrons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like basically your kidneys are falling apart, depending on what that number is looking at. I haven't seen anybody big on any of these go hardcore, but kidneys are the big thing. It's like kidneys is all pre-renal, so it's everything before the kidneys that does it. So like your alpha blocker that actually helps your blood pressure, that's fucking fine. Do that shit. If it works for your blood pressure, use it. Absolutely. I mean, the only like downside is whenever if it wasn't working and you've got to stack stuff up, I don't really know how to stack
man,
it.
it's just this thing's freaking so annoying, man. It's because I was trying to go around my laptop and use my phone instead. But
were you having some tech issues?
Shitty guys. Yeah, no, I just like didn't test this at the last second, and then so one mistake takes you out. But I hear my echo. So yeah. Took me off the stage. That's the problem, I think.
You're on the stage, bro.
You're live with us.
I needed to take my audio off.
Now your volume's off, yeah.
Just a little technical glitch, not a big deal. But
no big deal.
How do you monitor? Yeah. Oh, well, one thing to add is watch the creatinine, because if it's like a 0.3 or a 0.5 move, even if it's in range, that is considered possible AKI, kidney injury.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the big ones to think about. But kidneys, it's all dehydration. Don't be dehydrated, and blood pressure, because it's everything coming into the kidneys that causes the problems. And that's why your ARBs and ACEs are the big treatments for blood pressure starts, because it decreases pressure to the kidneys directly as their method of action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me or no?
I can hear you fine.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. I was just checking because all right. The thing that I noticed with the albumin, it wasn't really about. I hadn't decided how much it had like actually been because of a difference in filtration or actual kidney output, or not. Well, the filtration of the kidneys. I had seen and kind of just made a rough speculation that it was actually due to diluted blood volume, that the infrastructure hadn't been yet brought up to capacity to make enough albumin to contain the higher blood volume. Like it's a greater osmotic demand, essentially. And albumin's job is to be, an osmotic tool to maintain fluid balance.
Right.
What do you think about that?
That sounds correct. I haven't gone deep into kidney stuff, kidney anatomy recently, but that sounds about right. And then if albumin is coming out, you're using that osmotic.
Yeah. What do you think about the fact that, I don't know, people often say that alpha-1 blockade is like dangerous. I don't know why it has that perception. I do know why, but like it's pretty absurd. Like
I was gonna say I don't know who's saying it, but I haven't heard it from any medical professional. They just they're aware of it. But I mean, that's one of those things you'd actually add on to somebody who's, you like to say you got somebody at a certain level and they can't take a bunch of blood pressure medicines, or they won't take a bunch of blood pressure medicines, but they will take Flomax to pee. Like, yeah, here we go. You know?
Yeah.
And that's something you do think about. Like, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, the idea comes from the fact that it's the primary tool the body uses to maintain like pressure, because like the, you know, smooth muscle of the endothelial lining, like, or I don't know if the endothelial lining is like the same exact thing, but veins are muscles. People don't know that, but some people don't know that, but they squeeze, you know, they want to maintain pressure. So when you go from sitting to standing or laying to sitting or whatever, the body adjusts, and the amount of tone that is there in the vascular beds is from adrenaline as one of the, you know, signals, catecholamines. So when you have doxazosin, what you do is you're directly blocking the adrenaline receptors, which is alpha-1, and you're doing that on the veins, so that way there is less of a squeeze effect, and you know, resulting in less blood pressure. And why do young men have high blood pressure? What is the predominant thing that's going on there that causes that?
Well, if you're on androgens, that's one of the factors. If you're not on androgens and you have high blood pressure, it could just be your lifestyle.
Right.
Maybe you drink too much alcohol. Maybe you smoke too many cigarettes. Maybe you're vaping too much. Could be
maybe a lot of things.
That's exactly right. Yeah, like it's a young man's high blood pressure is kind of what I call it. It's like it's different than an old person's high blood pressure who has calcified, you know, vascular beds.
Oh, okay. The pathology. I got you. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Like, so in the big giant meta-analysis studies that look at, you know, head to head with the alpha-1 blockade versus diuretic versus the ARB ACE pathway to reduce blood volume, that's kind of like your only choice. So when you take somebody who's old, they got high blood pressure, they've got stiff pipes, is kind of like a way you can think of it. Like, so when the heart beats, the veins have been calcified, you know, from plaque deposits and then calcium getting there. So they become hard. They can't relax. So nitric oxide and can't do what it has to do and cause them to vasodilate properly. So you've got pressure that is there, not because of adrenergic tone and squeeze. They got high blood pressure because there's too much blood and volume in there pressing against walls that don't move. So, what do you think, being in like the traditional mainstream, not mainstream because you're not mainstream at all, but
I'm a deep specialist. That's why I love stuff like that.
Yeah, he was telling me about what he does earlier. It's pretty wild.
I know,
and pretty
got to get to know more. Sorry, go ahead.
Rewarding. No, I'm just saying with Josh, he was telling me what he does actually for a living before, and it's great. It's got to be rewarding, but it's got to be a tough job. It's a very tough job. I can't imagine it.
Yeah. What do you think of that kind of different, that young man's high blood pressure, old guy's high blood pressure thing? Because in androgen users, you're basically replicating a young man's high blood pressure state because of the tone.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, you're definitely going to increase your catecholamine production with everything. Right. I guess it just depends on how much you need, you know?
Yeah. Do you use any blood pressure modulation of any type?
I don't need any, but I do have pretty much everything you could possibly want. I've got propranolol, I've got telmisartan, of course, and I've got chlorothalidone, which is basically just 24-hour HCTZ. I would only implement those if I decided I want to take anadrol again. Because generally my blood pressure, I'm a runner, so my blood pressure is usually like 117/70 or lower.
Right.
I'm at risk of falling if I took an alpha blocker.
Yeah.
Ironically. But I don't think that's a bad idea at all. No, it works really well.
Yeah. It is kind of like, it's your body's main way to maintain pressure. But like, there's like an adaptive response that happens quickly. Yeah. So when you start the drug for the first 2 days, I believe, That's when there's like this fall risk that people talk about.
Well,
but otherwise, I think for enhanced guys here, like who are using androgens, something, talk with your provider, obviously, about this, although they won't listen because they have to go like a McDonald's chef. They have to wait for the timer to go off before the fries are ready. And they have to prescribe hydrochlorothiazide before they prescribe doxazosin. There's actually a lot more steps actually in between. Like doxazosin is probably like a fifth line treatment.
It's considered an outside treatment. The standard line is just to protect the heart.
Oh no, yeah, like a fifth line
for
treatment.
Older people,
I mean,
like you said. Oh, what? I'm sorry.
Like a fifth line treatment.
Like
it would kind of when they reach for it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because you're gonna have an alpha. Sorry, you're gonna have an ARB or ACE, and you're gonna have a CCB, calcium channel blocker. Then you're gonna have your sodium, and then you're gonna have your spironolactone. And yeah, you're right. Yeah, it would be fifth or so. But you're right. I think that's better for anabolic users. You're right. That's a good way to look at it. I do also like meditation stuff. Like I think people should practice that as well, like biofeedback. Try to calm yourself naturally too. Is that important?
Right.
Absolutely.
So much of like more and more kind of as I get older, you can see how much of like biohacking really isn't as much to do as like with your chemistry as it is just your alignment and like having a purpose. It's like, I made this analogy today. I was talking to somebody. If you're playing like a video game and you have a streak going, if you have that streak going, like when are you going to actually want to do it? If you have the streak going, or if you're already at zero, it's way harder to start when you haven't started. Like, let's think about the gym. Is it easier to go to the gym when you've been killing it and nailing your diet and you've got your training on point, you're tracking everything? Like, is it easier to stay in that groove?
Inertia.
Or, how much harder is that to start going back on a routine when you've fallen off?
Yeah, like me. This is just my second workout today since January of 2025. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, wow.
Man.
But I tell my weight loss people, like, look, the first step is just walking to the gym door. If you don't go in, that's fine. At least you walk to the gym door. Because I got people who are like, morbidly obese.
Yep.
Let's before we carry on, let's hit the chat real quick for a couple of questions here. Let's get this one here from Gumming-Gill. All right. Hey, do you think that Reta is actually catabolic, and because of our PEDs and training, we're able to prevent this, but it's anti-growth, which can't be good? And I've been experimenting with Reta for a year and a half now.
It isn't. So there's evidence to support that from several angles. Like, can you say it will be catabolic and muscle loss causing in your situation? Yes, probably a little bit, actually, because you can't, the mechanism of glucagon itself, its job is to be a catabolic hormone. Glucagon's job is to pull amino acids from muscle tissue and other tissue to make into glucose. It's not just that, but it is commonly thought of like glucagon. Oh, all it does is it takes, fat or, free fatty acid out of adipose tissue. So it's fat burning. That's it. But it isn't that. It also is amino acid catabolizing too. And that mechanism is, been demonstrated in just like a blank model. I think glucagon, human growth hormone, and insulin were used to like test this. And in that model, it was catabolic. Does that mean when a person takes retatrutide, tirzepatide, semaglutide, it actually doesn't matter which? All of those have glucagon too, by the way. A lot of people wouldn't think of it like that, but you're taking tirzepatide, you're taking semaglutide or retatrutide, you're likely getting glucagon-like action, or not like, you're getting glucagon's action.
Stimulation, you think, on the pancreas from those things? Is that what you're...
Yeah, okay. Right. There's
makes sense.
Studies in healthy people taking semaglutide, and their fasting insulin runs higher. So if your fasting insulin is higher, what's happening to your blood sugar? It's going down. how is it not going down to the point you go hypo? Glucagon. Because it's not like semaglutide is destroying insulin sensitivity. If anything, it's increasing it.
Yeah.
Do you follow that like relationship? So it's like glucagon goes up or insulin goes up, blood sugar is down. And then
when it crashes,
glucagon goes up. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, no, I was gonna say they actually measure the retatrutide dose, about 200 calories a day, like 180 or so for your max dose. So it's like, it definitely burns calories. Do I think it's muscle catabolic? It could be, but most of the stuff you're seeing in these studies is these people, one, aren't exercising very often, and two, the scans they're using, DEXA scans, are not good for measuring muscle. You want an MRI. But so what you'll lose off of DEXA is if you take a shit, you just lost 5 pounds of muscle. You know what I mean? And I say that seriously. And you lose intramuscular fat, which is something terrible that you don't want, and is basically making your tissue diabetic and insulin resistant. So that'll be counted against you as lean tissue. But it's an interesting.
I'm gonna say, sorry, I was gonna say something provocative, but
please do, man.
Here's the field. So this is the field as I see it. There's GLP-1s, there's bros, and then there's these studies and models. And one, the model that glucagon is catabolic, that's reality. Two, the studies of people on GLP-1s losing muscle, also that's reality. That's there. So that's two things for muscle loss. But that said, I have used and did use GLP-1s myself because I'm not really so concerned about muscle loss, even like as a PED user. But even if it happens, like I dig deep. I'm fine with losing muscle because muscle memory is a thing. So if you're worried about losing muscle on a diet, are you just trying to make progress, or are you trying to look as sick as you possibly can? Because if you're just trying to make progress, it doesn't really matter because you diet a bunch of muscle off, it's going to come back right away anyway.
Yeah. It'll be the thing your body wants back quickly.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
I like this question.
Yeah, we got a bunch here in the chat. They're coming in. So why don't we take a couple here? First off, this one here, curious if Austin has experimented with some of the hardcore fat burning options before all these new tools, like ones that may be a little warm, not to mention, hypothetically, of course.
DNP, no, I've never taken it actually. No, not yet, but shout out Randy.
I have, yeah.
What's up, man? Oh, you have?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna. All right, let's go into that.
Let's hear about that.
I thought I would help you lose. All right, so for me, it just made me exhausted. It basically just gave me hardcore liver effects. So I spent the week of sleep, gained a bunch of water, and then lost the water, and that was it. So
yeah,
it basically just fucked me up. Now it does do interesting things to your blood glucose. I've seen some type 1 diabetics just use DNP instead of fucking insulin.
Really?
What? Wow.
Type 1.
Yeah, because you have to have insulin if you're type 1.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, how does it? What's
it replaces.
Going on there?
Right, somehow it replaces insulin's role.
Wow, holy!
Like
crap.
It sits on a receptor or something. I don't know exactly, but I'm sure it's in the fucking literature or in the literature. Well, it's 400-year-olds of literature. But,
yeah, holy crap, that's weird. Have you ever looked at this to see if it's in any type of study literature of any type?
I'm sure it was, but it was years ago when I looked at it. So it's definitely where it came from or why that guy was trying it, but it might still be on YouTube. I don't know. It's one of those things, once DNP stuff shows up on YouTube, it tends to get taken down pretty quickly. I don't recommend DNP as a user. Like, to me, like DNP, Clen, I mean, pretty much all these like speed up things. I'm like, what? Don't do that. Just eat less food or walk 20 more minutes. Because how much does Clen really burn? I don't know. I don't take it, so I don't know.
Clen is an interesting one because it's an agonist. Like it functions like adrenaline's job.
Yeah, I know it does.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
How come? So, all right, let's tackle this one quick. What about Clen is it that you don't like, or that adrenaline-like action?
Oh, well, me personally, I don't want it because I don't have any problems with making energy. Like, I have problems sleeping on the other end. I'm on the other end of the energy spectrum, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. Yeah. So I need something that makes me go to sleep. Like I need, melatonin, go to bed, or GABA, go to bed. So I don't need extra energy. I don't like how Clen is, well, not medically approved anywhere other than like Russia and Bulgaria. The places you sell steroids. But if you want to do something like a beta antagonist, like by all means, just use albuterol pre-workout.
Yeah.
But you can have your Clen. Like, don't get me wrong, girls love shit like that. That's what I always found out. They love T3 and they love their Clen, and anytime you can give them an upper, they're so happy. And I'm like, why?
Any reason you go albuterol over Clen?
Safety profile, and instead of a 36-hour half-life, it's basically 4 to 6 hours with your workout. Feels incredible, and it does help you blow off a little bit of potassium just in case you're on tell me, Sarton.
Like, how much albuterol are you talking?
I'm just talking like 2 puffs, dog.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you can go crazy.
Take albuterol. I used to take that. I used to get it prescribed.
Yeah, it's a great medicine.
Yeah,
like, you can run a lot better with it. It's one of those like cheating things. It's like,
I know, it's crazy. Like you just feel like you have unlimited oxygen. Like not unlimited, but the winded factor of it is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Right. I never even thought of that as a PED.
Mm-hmm.
I never even considered that as a PED.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a patient whose mom had albuterol and her son stole it and sold it. So that's how I knew it was a PED.
No shit.
Really?
That's funny. I mean, that makes sense. Like if you're running track in high school and shit and all that, whatever.
I got asthma, coach.
Yeah.
You've got that.
I'm asthmatic.
It's a hit of adrenaline.
Yeah.
A hit of adrenaline, and what it does.
They have the over-the-counter epinephrine inhalers. I've got one, and then they've got ephedrine over-the-counters. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to kick acid running.
Are they epinephrine inhalers? Like, wait, epi, like.
Epinephrine. Let me take a look here. Primatine. Yeah, epinephrine inhalation aerosol.
Is it epi? Is there an epi?
There's an EpiPen as well.
There's no adrenaline. Okay, I never call adrenaline epinephrine for some reason.
Yeah, it's epinephrine, norepinephrine, noradrenaline. There's a bunch of them that all have the same kind of a receptor and binding stuff, and it's like you can go down to the deep biochemistry about what's different, but to me, what does it do? That's all I need to know.
There's 2 of them. So there's epi and norepi, but so adrenaline and noradrenaline, they are the same things. So adrenaline and epinephrine are the same. Norepinephrine and noradrenaline are the same. And basically what you can think of those is norepinephrine, noradrenaline is adrenaline for your nervous system. Adrenaline, epinephrine are adrenaline for your physical body. So what happens when you take Clen or albuterol, it binds to the beta 2 receptors and the beta 1 and beta 3. It just binds all of them, but they're pretty selective for beta 2. And what does that do? You have simulated artificial adrenaline in the same way that you've simulated artificial testosterone when you take Primo or Tren or whatever it is. You then cause a response, which is a few things at once, because adrenaline has multiple effects on the body. Many of those are, I don't know about all. The effects are what you want in an exercise bodybuilder context for burning fat and for endurance, better workouts. You got the main thing what happens there is the lungs dilate, so you're able to get more oxygen. I don't know if that's called vasodilation. It's not. It's whatever dilation that it is, you can breathe more.
Oh, I guess whatever.
Yeah.
Dilation.
You have.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. Say that last bit again.
Yeah, dilation of your various systems. Yeah, I think you're in your your NOS system at that point.
Yeah. I think I actually don't even know how nitric oxide comes in this for the direct vasodilation. I think it's like the substrate that does cause the opening. So like I think maybe adrenaline binds and then downstream NO, nitric oxide, is the thing that comes in and actually is the substrate that does the opening. I think.
That sounds right. I mean, like I said, this is us going off our memories. You can scream at us in the comments if you'd like. We'll be more than happy to learn.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Let's take some more questions.
Yeah,
I'm glad we did a lot of live questions.
We got a bunch of live questions here. All right, we already did that one here. Let's go ahead and take this one here from Mike V. What's the best way to utilize DHB? Cut, bulk, TRT plus? Appreciate your input, brother. Come on.
Oh man. So do I want to just be fully honest, or do I want to make
no lie?
Do I make the people hear what they want to hear?
Right.
Yeah, TRT plus with testosterone and a little DHB. That's the sorry. It's DHB right now for me with estradiol. That's what I'm using for my HRT. I'm using 66 milligrams of DHB per week, and I think it's 1.3 milligrams of estradiol per week, and I feel sick. So it's kind of crazy to say I'm only on 66 milligrams a week.
Good sick or
like?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Like a sick cunt.
What are your symptoms?
Like Z's style sick.
Right.
Yeah. DHB has a fatal flaw. Actually, there's a lot of the reports of people getting sick on it, right? It actually isn't even unique in that regard. If people know test flu, you get like test E500 and you inject it and you get test flu. And what's happening there is the concentration of the test is so high that when you put it in that aqueous environment, it crashes in the muscle. The muscle
it gives you crazy pip too. I remember getting fucking welts on that shit.
Yep. And muscle tissue, it's not used to having damage like that. It isn't used to having like actual cutting tissue damage. And if it did, it would be because your flesh is exposed and the immune system doesn't like that and goes wild. And that's what gives you the fever and the malaise. The thing with, I hear people push back on that though. Like, why do you
WBC should rise? Yeah, no, that sounds like something that would happen.
Yeah. So it's that, and then there's the cytokine storm too. But the part that I see, if you can find the issue with this, what do you think? You got a vial of test 500, right? You take out 1 cc, 500 milligrams. You inject it in your delt, which is the most bro place to inject. It crashes and you get PIP. How did it crash? Do you see like a problem with that in that situation? Like, just think it through for a sec. So you take a vial, 500, it's not crashed. You put it in the muscle, it crashes. Why did that happen?
I don't know. Why did it happen?
Right. Well, people think it like doesn't crash because it's higher temp. Like, it didn't crash at room temperature in the vial. Why would it crash at 98.6 in the body? That doesn't make any sense. The reason is the aqueous environment and the solvents that are needed to dissolve test at 500 mg per ml. Trinamy says I had test 400 one time, and
I don't think I ever did
abort
test
the cycle.
500.
Do not get high concentration testosterone.
That shit hurts so bad. It's just not worth it. I couldn't agree with DNX more. He's just saying it's not worth it. They, the fucking benzoate and benzo alcohol they use is the concentrations are way too high.
Yep. That's really.
I mean, they should put lidocaine in your shit if they're going to do this kind of stuff.
Right. Even then, though, once the lidocaine wears off, you're still going to be freaking hurting.
Well, yeah, but I mean.
Yeah, you're still.
It'll feel all right going in
either way.
Yeah,
but I just think that's so crazy how that happens. Like, have you ever had a vial crash on you guys?
Oh yeah.
No, they don't last that long.
No, I do. Yeah, but when I first because when I went on a TRT, I actually went through the UGL because I couldn't even get doctors to run my labs. And I was like, screw this. So I was having a hard time. Like, I didn't know any real sources. And I was getting this place that it's like one batch was badass and it was like, it felt fucking sweet. And then the next one was like, it just wasn't dosed properly and this and that. And
when was this? When did this start? What year was that?
a little after COVID.
Oh, okay. I just wondered because a lot of people have these like stories from like the 2000s. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You couldn't find anything, but
no,
like,
no. It's not that I couldn't find anything. It's just that I didn't know where to get it. You know, like I wanted something local. I didn't want anything to have to be shipped in from overseas.
Gotcha.
So and they, like I said, you know, their orals are still badass. I still no, I don't buy from them anymore. But yeah, their orals were good. It was just their injectables were so. They, you know, they were just not dosed properly. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I found a real source that was high quality, and their shit was actually probably more higher dose than what they even had it labeled as.
See, it's weird. Like, I guess I just have never had a problem finding a source. I mean, I just go to Google.
Yeah.
Well, this looks real.
Yeah. The thing here with this, like, this can crash. Like, if you don't, some people don't have crash issues, by the way. I have seen people take DHB 100, test 400, whatever, they're fine. But the reason for this is, like, people are going to say, why would it crash in a muscle depot that's warm versus in the vial? It's still not crash. And the answer is because of it being an aqueous environment. When you take out, like, say, 500.
You break apart the lipophilic environment of the oils, right? Is that what you're talking about? And then the crap you let out is toxic to your muscles? Yeah.
It is actually shards of, like, if you've never seen them crash, like a vial will be like snowflakes of jaggedness. Yeah. Okay. So benzyl benzoate, glycol, benzyl alcohol too, but you're not using that as a solvent, are much more water soluble or dissolvable in water compared to castor oil, ethyl oleate, whatever it is, MCT oil. So what happens? Imagine this, you take, here's your imaginary syringe and your vial, 500 test here. So you take out 1 cc. It's 500 milligrams of test in here, 1 cc total of liquid. But it is 0.8 cc's oil, 0.2 cc's benzyl benzoate. Sure. So what happens is you inject that in your muscle. A few hours later, the benzyl benzoate, that 0.2 ml is now gone. So now you have like that roughly 500 milligrams of testosterone, but it's now in 0.8 cc's of liquid. You've raised the concentration because the benzyl benzoate leaves the depot faster. And then, you know, you've raised the concentration, and the aqueous environment itself does cause like a cloud seeding type effect. What is it called? Precipitation. Catalyst. I can't think of the word, but
I like the logic on that. I don't know much about brewing steroids, so
it's just like, you know, with sometimes you buy stuff crashed. I don't either. I definitely don't know anything about that. But to finish that guy's question,
the
best.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, here we go. Let's put it back up.
Yeah. Best way to use that: use 50 milligram per ml DHB if you were ever going to do such a thing. Don't use 100 unless you have tried it and you have gotten an HSCRP. That's the first thing. But the best way to use it is with estradiol. That's my opinion. So,
all right.
It doesn't sound like I'm trying to sell that. Like just pimp this out, but you know, people will be impressed, I think.
No, like and I've got that one done. That one, for estradiol sweet spot, I just do when I have morning wood. Now it's gonna be different.
Oh yeah, I use that as like a gauge. I mean, that's like my the pole.
Yeah,
it keeps me aligned. You know, I wake up with that wood. I'm like, this is when I should get my shit tested because I know I'm in a sweet spot when I have great morning wood. And right now I have great morning wood, so we're all good. Here's from Bodybuilding Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Gary hitting us up. Question for later. Guess what, Gary? Now is later. How does one find their estradiol sweet spot? Mine has never been below 61. Ultra sensitive. Wow, me too.
Right. Yep.
I mean, he missed an opportunity for a 69 or a 67 joke there.
I've gotten close. I got a 65 before. That was as close as I've ever gotten. But the best way to find the dose is what I do. Oh, this is a question I think somebody asked me. High Risk Fitness asked me, and it's about finding the estradiol sweet spot. And when you're doing this with my protocol, like your estradiol level is going to be determined by the amount you inject. You're not going to have the variable of how much you aromatize. Like your body fat won't change it. If you add equipoise or primo, it won't change it.
Yep.
You could take letrozole, it won't change it. But the way to do it is start a bit lower than what you need, which is the best 0.25 milligrams every other day is what I do. And then I get my blood work done at week 4 of being stable on that. But in this instance, testosterone does take a bit to clear. Like, so it's actually, you would see total testosterone levels elevated by a point of like maybe as much as like 6 weeks after taking your shot, depending on how you metabolize it. So it just because I know a bit about the background in this, estradiol lags behind the testosterone levels falling in this instance. So in this case, the 61 is probably just because of there's still tests lingering. So if you take a shot of test, like and you were going to PCT, you take your last shot, you're going to have tests in your system 4 or 5 weeks later. You know, what do you think on that?
Sounds about right.
How long have you gone without shots? Like, what's the longest frequency you guys have gone between a injection?
Oh boy,
most a week.
Yeah,
I take my shit pretty seriously. I'm an old man, so I take this shit pretty seriously. It's like, yeah, I just at least when I was doing weekly shots, it would be every week.
Yeah, the only time I stopped pinning when I actually went legit and joined H4M clinic in August of, I don't know, 24, I think, something like that. But anyhow, that was it because my bloods were so fucked up and I was feeling terrible and just, I was a mess, dude. So the best thing to do was just to come off of everything. And that's what I did. And I came off of everything for only 2 weeks though. And then I just implemented 120 milligrams of test for like 6 weeks after that. And then we ran my labs again and everything was back in order. No problem.
Yeah. You could, you'll get a reset for a while too. If you come off, like you'll notice like morning wood, like as being like the equivalent of, you know, what's the thing at the airport where like they got the flag that tells you the way where the wind is blowing? It's like one of those things. I felt like that was that. It's like, I thought that was the analogy. It seemed like that Eric was trying to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
How full is your wind suck? That'll tell you how much. Yeah.
I'm gonna put this question here too. I'll comment it myself. So this was asked last week. And then if there's any other questions in the comments too here. But this one, I get this asked a lot because people I hear like, yeah, I tried the SHBG protocol and like didn't, like, I don't know, like just all sorts of things. And it's not like just take estradiol with like a random thing. Like there's a specific list of things that do not lower SHBG, and there's a source of estradiol that you need that will work and one that won't. I don't know if you guys have known this, but More Plates, More Dates, Derek actually did an experiment like this back before I was even a thing in this space. And he ran nandrolone only with estradiol cream. And he did a SARM only experiment with estradiol also, but he used cream. And his estradiol level was only about 15. And that's at like an estrogen deprived state. So creams just don't seem to work reliably here for this.
So you're saying that, are you saying that creams don't aromatize enough?
So a cream of testosterone will aromatize enough, but like estradiol cream doesn't seem to absorb effectively.
Okay, so I was just confused. I got you. You're talking about absorption for estradiol cream. I thought you were talking about test cream for a minute there.
Yeah. Here, let me see. Bodybuilding MWF says this to test SIP. Total T went down to 1331 to 170 E2. That is that lag behind effect. that E2 lags behind total T. And that's kind of the thought process with post-cycle therapy, taking a SERM like Nolvadex to prevent estrogenic rebound is like what people refer to it. And what that is like the falling of androgen levels, the less slow, or estrogen levels don't fall as fast.
Okay. Let's move along here. It's a good one here. I wanted to check this here from High Risk Fitness. He was giving you a big shout out, Austin. What's the consensus on carderine and cancer risk? I'm a firefighter and nothing compares when it comes to performance for me.
Man, I wish I understood it better, and I wish I understood the cancer topic better in general. Like, but for this reason, I don't like use it regularly. Like, I have used it, but I'd be curious of like what the effect is with carderine and endurance, like, because I've noticed it before, but I can't remember if it was more like clen and like just allowed me to get a lot more wind, or if it was the carderine. They probably both work the same way actually and feel the same.
One of the things I wondered about, guys are like, oh, I take this carderine or I take that or the other. Have you thought about just getting an oxygen tank and just hyperoxygenating yourself and seeing if that gives you the same kind of energy? Like, there's more natural ways.
Well, yeah, you can actually buy oxygen cans at any pharmacy. I remember when my wife came back, when she was initially released after her bone marrow transplant and all that, she had to have oxygen cans that she would buy and from like CVS or Walgreens or whatever. And you get 99%, and the cans last a while.
Yeah, but I mean,
you huff on them.
As far as cancer risk, I don't take it. If somebody says cancer risk and I like look at it, I'm like, yeah, that's possible. I don't need carderine. I'm like, to me, I break it all down simple. It's like, what peptides do I need? I need GH, insulin, and then a GLP if I want to lose weight. That's it.
Right.
And there's other stuff that's good and other stuff you can add in for different sections, but that's why you have somebody like Austin. You ask them, hey, what do I do for this? Or ask Steve, hey, Steve, what do I do for this?
Yeah. I want to talk to Steve. We should see him, because I've said this before on like the early H4M days. My SHBG protocol was completely inspired by Vigorous Steve, actually. I was originally introduced to the idea that SHBG may be valuable by Vigorous Steve back in 2022. And then in 2022, I got lucky. But because I learned from Steve to do blood work and track things to extract a higher truth, I noticed a pattern. And the pattern was that my SHBG started going back up despite having been on cycle longer when it was only going back down. Right. So I was like, what's going on there? And it was right when I tried to see what would happen if I used estradiol as a base instead of test and used nandrolone.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that, Austin. Let me ask you this. What if I decided to just say, fuck it, all right? Just run nandrolone and estradiol sip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I tolerate nandrolone very well.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I'm doing, but just with DHB. But it would be great because I haven't had anybody not prefer it who got actually like their correct estradiol dose. Like it's not that finicky, but one of the drawbacks to this protocol is having the correct estradiol level, because DHT gives you a buffer against high E2, I suspect. For me, it's not really an issue because anywhere between 1.3 and like 2+ milligrams of estradiol a week, as high as 5.6 milligrams a week, which is a lot for a guy. I feel great. I can take estradiol all the way up till it's like gynecomastia territory issue.
No, you did.
I feel good. Yeah,
you certainly did.
Yeah, I did do that. But that reel you made for that was like, that was a great one.
Yeah, Austin's nipple is famous now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just wild.
Both are famous.
I can't believe that short didn't go viral. Yeah, I mean, that's just crazy.
You got to pierce the nipple next time, and then.
I'm surprised Coach Colton didn't make a video out of that. Look at this young man here.
I know, right?
It'd be hilarious. I'd love to see that.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Nobody was interested in the guy who gave himself tits and then cured it for science.
Yeah, but no, a lot of people want to know where they can get that DHT cream. But
Well, I mean,
good
the
freaking
things
luck.
that you study, like there are things the guys think about. They think about losing their hair. They think about their dick getting smaller. They think about growing tits like a chick. And it's like most of these things, you just need to go to the fucking gym and not eat like an asshole.
Yep. I got hair regrowth on that. Like, so there's also this video on my YouTube channel here, better hair on steroids.
Yeah,
and I actually got
is
significant recovery in my growth. You want to show it? You want to roll it?
Yeah, let's do it. Give me 1 second here. Let me pull that up for us.
Yeah, the thumbnail of it.
Let's see.
Like,
here.
just because.
Stand by, guys. Let's see. Hair safe, right? Okay, I'm just gonna have to go ahead and share this. Okay.
So it's consensus. If you take carderine, it might have a cancer risk. I don't take it. Austin doesn't take it. I think there's no real need for it. But if it helps you fight fires, fuck it.
All right, Austin, you're really beating the shit out of that keyboard, so I'm going to shut you off. There you go. Okay.
Before we get into the breakdown of this video,
can you guys hear that? The audio good? Okay.
First thing that's probably going to come to mind for a lot of people is why not just run DECA only, and why not just use a nandrolone only cycle. And the reason for that is, in my opinion, why I'm discussing this one.
Let's just look at the thumbnail. Let's just watch the thumbnail, because like the thumbnail is the crazy before and after pic.
In my experience.
Okay, let's do that.
Basically,
right here.
People started commenting. We'll do it just like, zoom in like that. That's fine. Yeah. Get the gist, but people can go take a peek. And other people in my life started actually commenting on this and, pointing this out to me.
Oh, it's wild. I mean, it's definitely noticeable. I mean, there's no question about it.
I mean,
I didn't even really know I had an issue before.
Was it
and this is on.
cycle?
No, this is on Tren and Primo and Masteron and Winstrol. Like,
and your hair just started growing back on its own, just like the follicles came alive.
I started seeing baby hairs, like like kind of on a girl's hairline, like like in the temple area. Like, there's not just like an end; it kind of like there's more wispier hairs that blend.
Yeah, the vellus hair, I believe is what it's called.
I started noticing that, and then they kind of just grew in. And then also this, I didn't have any hair on my face before, but that's not to do with that.
Dude, did you hear your voice in that video? How different that was before your voice dropped. Mine too. I listened to videos that I did like 6-7 years ago, or I hear recordings because you get those memories all the time. Like, oh, I sound so different. It's wild.
Like, that's your bikini model voice, like bikini, and then you went to wellness, and now like
No, but I had a deep voice before, but now it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's keep rolling along here, guys. Let's see here. We already did that one, so let's bounce on him. Let's see. DNX is asking us, what do you guys think about pairing long esters with short esters for TRT?
It doesn't matter, actually, in my opinion, because you inject it often enough, and sometimes the fluctuations in and of themselves are actually what give you good effect. Like, people don't know, or I hate saying that, it sounds so pretentious. People don't know this, but like, I'm trying to say that I haven't heard this observed before. I haven't heard it. People might notice, but if you fluctuate your hormone levels, you can actually get effects just because of the fact that the levels themselves are changing. So kind of circling back to that Gary's question, like, and I think one other guy's, but when you decide how often to inject, the change in estradiol levels in this instance actually is an effect in and of itself. So going from like 100 to 60 estradiol, you can feel and will feel low estradiol symptoms, even though your estradiol is at a 60. And not so much the other way. Like if you went from like 20 to 100, you would actually probably feel good at first. And then the higher estrogen side effects don't come about till a little bit later. But when you precipitously drop your estradiol, you feel the effects pretty quick.
Gotcha. And the other thing I was going to say about that is if he's talking about taking the long ester and maybe the no ester stuff that people have been doing pre-workout, but the no ester stuff, the only thing I think about those is like, well, if you're just giving yourself a buttload of testosterone pre-workout, then you're going to give yourself a buttload of estrogen post-workout, you know? So I guess trend-based only cycle if you as your pre-workout, right? If you're on the normal test base plus whatever cycle stuff, you know?
This trend base going around that I've heard about that isn't that. It's like something else. So I don't even know if like trend base could be gotten.
Oh, I just mean like the standard people that do test base plus like let's compound that kind of the standard model that they have that these steroid people have created that I don't really like agree with, and you clearly don't agree with, so you know.
Yeah. I hear trend as a base, like the Revelor cycle, like the Revelor XS stack. Those are the names of the pellets, you know, the brands.
Right. Finaplex and all that other shit, right?
Yeah. Finaplex is the one with just tren in it. And then Revelor is the one with tren and estradiol. And, you know, it's a money-making industry, guys. So follow the money.
Oh,
and
good luck
if it's
with
effective
that,
in cattle, like I think if
what
it
I love
didn't work, they wouldn't be doing it.
I like saying tren is a female hormone because it's for cattle, which are all girls. So it's like, that's my favorite female hormone.
That's a lot. And it was actually used in France for females too.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was used.
The best kind of girls.
But
of course I am French. I have this outrageous accent.
All right, guys, we're gonna shift gears here to GH. I got a great question here for us. Let's check this out. What is the best way to monitor insulin sensitivity while using GH-based secretagogues?
The best way is like continuous glucose monitor.
Yeah, right. And I have a controversial idea on insulin sensitivity again with this, but
yeah, let's hear it.
You can tell me what you guys think. So I think insulin sensitivity is like a constant, ever fluctuating state that changes with your glycogen status, like actively. And then there's other longer term processes that influence it too, which is another thing you can check with like the S-dimethylarginine, ADMA,
I know
SDMA.
I haven't been able to find it anywhere, so it's like, well.
What's that?
I haven't been able to find that the SDA test or SDMA test at like Ulta Labs or anything that everybody has. So I just
Ulta, I think, has it.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought they did, but Merrick Health has it. So shout out Merrick Health.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I've gotten all my blood work through them, and you know I haven't been able to right now because of my state. Or I'm in Rhode Island, and Rhode Island's like one of those 3 states where you need a doctor to send it in. And that doctor has to be from Rhode Island. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. But to get to this guy's question, insulin resistance is something that is normal, expected, and just it's fine. Like when you are in a caloric surplus, you are more insulin resistant than you would be in a deficit. And there is like a long-term lagging behind one and like shorter term processes that cause resistance. Not all resistance is resistance too, because what you can see if you were somebody who pins insulin intravenously, which you should never ever do, you would see that the response to the blood glucose drop kind of stays pretty consistent actually. So like you're literally in this instance, you would be literally measuring your sensitivity to the drug insulin rather than trying to triangulate your insulin sensitivity by looking at your fasting insulin and your blood glucose level. So you can actually, you know, pin this, what is the response, you know, and one of the main things that people call insulin resistance is just hepatic glucose output actually, and pancreatic fatigue. Shout out Paul Barnett because he talks about this and he's observed it, but he's got what is it, like
type 1B diabetes. Yeah.
Type 1B. That's it.
I think 1B insulin insufficiency. Yeah.
Yeah, insulin insufficiency is something that everyone will encounter when they're pushing on the gas hard and bulking and measuring and tracking.
And
Like
just getting
Paul,
older. But yeah, Paul has like a genetic thing that causes his stuff to be bad.
I see it normally, like in almost everybody who's been on a caloric surplus on the gas. Kind of like the same thing where I see the albumin shift. But my morning fast, like somebody can tell me about this, but my morning fasting glucose in a bulk when I don't take a shot of insulin is 240. And that is because I've just been like, get in there, like with insulin to
Force
just like
feeding. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
right. Yeah. So that way it's like, well, am I just insulin resistant? Is that why my blood glucose is 230 the first thing when I wake up in the morning? Or is my liver just outputting a ton of glycogen? And is that why bodybuilders have a ton of fatty liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? I would say that is the kind of underlying pathology there.
That's an interesting find there, Austin.
I guess I better take Reta to cure it.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, you know, you gotta like fast.
Pretty good. Yeah. Well,
have there been any studies on this? Or is this
cures...
something you just kind of thought up of, like you were just pondering on?
Me or him?
I was asking Austin, like what this here, what he was talking about, fatty liver and all that, and bodybuilders. Was there studies done on this, or is this something you were pondering on?
So I got this. The fatty liver one is like, I had heard Steve suspect that actually, Vigorous Steve. So shout out Vigorous Steve. But I think it is when we know that like fructose causes more like fatty liver than glucose because it's got to go through that. It's going to go through your liver first.
Preferential to the liver use.
Yeah. And let's see, what was the second part of that I was going to say? Oh, the glucose output from the liver. That was my, I don't know. We'll just call it original, even though I didn't make the body, I didn't design it, but it's when anybody who's in, this is how I know people don't track things that much, like they kind of just do it. But if you're in a surplus like for more than like 12 weeks, you will notice that you need to increase calories like crazy to even keep scale moving and keep progress growing. And it's like, what's happening there? You're not like absorbing it. I think like literally your blood sugar is just staying elevated. And if you measure it, you'll see that after a meal, instead of like after a cut, it only goes up to 150, 140 milligrams per deciliter, and then back down to 105 within a couple hours, few hours. You'll start to shoot up to like 250, 280, and it will still be at like 160, like 8 hours even after, unless you're really hamming that insulin. Hey, shout out Mason.
Hey, what up, brother? Nice. Good to see you, man.
I'm going to get together with him. We're going to do something to talk about on the podcast. You know, my insulin dose got up to 220, 230 units per day, which is like, I don't know if you have, do you have experience with insulin?
That's hardcore diet. I don't use me personally. No, a lot of patients. Yes. Yeah. If you're taking 220 units on long, or what are you taking? Long or short?
It was just like 80 of Lantus. So, 80 Glargine Lantus. And then the rest was rapid. It was actually
80 whatever Lantus generally replaces the pancreas's like output.
Yeah. Completely. I was basically using my full pancreas's output and then those 200 units on top of it, because like my pancreas could not keep up.
Well, blood flow science can work in medicine, because I see people walking around at 635 blood sugar and they're just like, whatever, I'll do what I want.
I want to see that, because like I'm not doubting that. That's like interesting, but I'm curious if that's like when the scale is actively moving up, because I only see this phenomena after like 3 weeks, 4 weeks of doing this. Not 4 weeks. It's like 3 months of doing
It takes
that.
a while.
And
yeah, as a healthy person, it takes a while. But these are people who are already diabetic and completely fucked themselves over.
Oh, I mean, like the phenomena where this is like wall that you hit. So like, for example, in my last rebound phase, like I was probably dieted down to like 196, and then I rebounded up like really fast to like 230. You know,
good.
And then, or maybe 220, and then I had started ratcheting up to 220 to 260 something over the course of the next 3-4 months. And that 3-4 months, that's when this effect happened. And so just to what Tanya said, I'd be curious if this is like when like a ton of body weight has been gained. She said the last time I think we talked that she had lost weight actually a bit, possibly.
Yeah, she did. Leaner. Yeah. When she was on the show last time. Yeah. She went all the way down to 117. Shit.
Yeah. Insulin sensitive is good. And that's what you want and expect when you're shredded like that. Like it's just to be expected. And that's really good. But yeah, my what is it? My blood glucose fasting or postprandial, like I've never seen it not go over 120, like, but 140 to 155 after a big meal when I'm, on a diet or like just shortly after the diet. And then it will clear down to like, 100 within 2 hours. Yeah. I think the main thing is like, it's not about whether you're lean. It's like, it has to be that condition of like, you have to be hammering on body weight going up. Like it was noticed by me when I had gone like 40 pounds plus in a chunk of like months. So.
Well, I was going to say like going down on weight and going up on weight do generally cause liver damage because your liver's making a bunch of shit. Or processing.
Making a bunch of what?
It's making a bunch of cells or it's processing a bunch of fat out, depending on what you're doing with your weight loss or weight gain. But yeah, your body having natural brakes on growth makes sense. That's why you ended up needing to take insulin that high and why, GH, you go super on that. And then obviously we're taking a little bit extra than, trimble and replacement therapy levels or whatever we're selecting.
Yeah. No, and I like in that Tanya's putting this out too. But like I have also seen that like in myself too. And it's just like there is this point that I've seen, not just myself either, like you have to slam through things with insulin, like it's just a certain point, or you got to diet,
or you go on a cut because and one of the things about that is you can continue growing, but what we generally see, like with studied like diabetics that are growing muscle and gaining weight, you start gaining more fat than you start gaining than muscle. But I don't know if you start playing with your insulin numbers if you can preference it to muscle instead of fat. But in the end, it's better to just cut off all that fat you put on and just start over.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm undecided too on that, because like my strategy for how I went about this was leverage muscle memory actually. So I would hammer, and as long as I was making productive increases in body weight, because I was on a lot of androgens and IGF-1 and HGH, I was able to push my like growth phases for 8 months, and by the end of that 8 months, the last time I was up till the 77,000 something calories a day, just 6-7 days a week, and 200 plus units of insulin.
Well, that's
but it rapidly increases at the end there.
Yeah, that's what you'll tend to see. Like, there's a certain level of calories that everyone has to eat to gain weight at a certain body weight, and at a certain point it becomes a standard. This is what you sit at. And it's very interesting. It's just kind of like, oh. But I think for you, what I would look at is like, how big do you want to be really? And then I would determine what you're going to do with your push phase. You know what I'm saying? Because like, if you're like 6'3", well, guess what? You got to be 300 pounds if you want to get on stage and be good or look great.
Right.
I think you got to diet. But if you're like 5'7", 5'8", then well, you don't have to be 300 pounds. Get to 220.
My philosophy on that too was like, make as much muscle accrual as possible in the chunk of my years of my life, so that I don't have to be like hammering on things into a later age, was my philosophy on it. So
how old are you?
I'm 33.
Oh yeah, you're young as fuck.
He's got a long ways to go.
Yeah, I'm 42, so yeah, you're good.
And my growth phase is like, I did all of my gains over the span of 3 years.
Yeah.
And, so I took big doses, but my total anabolic exposure, if you're going to look at it from that context, was only 3 years of my life. And, I gained, like, I have one of the more significant rates of weight gain that isn't muscle memory. Like, I haven't really seen it compared, except for like maybe that guy, what's his name? Like Boston Lloyd, or the other guy, Genetic Mutant or something like that.
Oh yeah.
On Instagram. Yeah. The Greek guy.
Well, to me, like this, it's like that your transformation happens means that you can possibly cause that in other people. So if other people are looking for it,
yeah. Thank you. I spend as much time as I can, like, in a growth phase, and like as long as, because if you think about it, you take a 10-year span, you want as much of that to be in a surplus, because in a surplus, that's when you are more effectively building muscle. And then there's people like now saying, like, I remember Scientific Snitch was saying, like, you don't need to be in a caloric surplus to build muscle. And
okay, so
that is probably true, but
right, like, check, but she is correct. You don't have to be in a surplus, and yes, your BMR does include the muscle growth stuff. And yes, if you go like a high level of calories, for natural people, you're just going to get fatter. But for steroid users, there's definitely a wider berth.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, and I think there is hypothetically purpose for insulin use there too, in naturals, actually. Like, let's say
in
that
natural
guy. Yeah, what's that guy's name? The one who's like, I'm natural. Like, I take insulin.
Insulin is natural. Testosterone is natural. I identify as a cow, so trenbolone is natural. Yes, sir. We can play that game.
Yeah, like, it's, people have a lot of shame, and they, yeah. He, what's his name? He's like blowing up super big, but he's natural, maybe. But I think he could have done it with just insulin. But he's like very much on the insulin's not anabolic. Like, I'm not on steroids. And I was fat
and muscle for sure.
Yeah. The natural dude on insulin, that one. But that's the thing, is like, because I know what I have done with it on steroids, and I for sure needed insulin to keep making progress. What does that mean? The more time I am in a caloric surplus in a 10-year window, the more time I am possibly turning amino acids into contractile tissue. So my actual like cumulative anabolic exposure years is reduced. And once you build muscle, you keep it. You got muscle memory on your side. So the way I maximized that was by dieting extremely hardcore. Like, I would lose 4 pounds a week, 3.8 pounds a week.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Diet all the fat off as fast as I possibly can. Get stringy, but then it just comes back, and then I would make these big jumps. And that's how I got up to, I don't know what it was going to be lean, because I never actually did that final diet.
All right, guys, we're going to do a Q&A lightning round here, but I want to take this question here that we received from last week that we hadn't gotten to. Let's go ahead and put this up, and I will read that because I don't have it pulled up and I can't see it. So here we go. Austin, does HGH significantly impact daily weight fluctuations compared to anabolic androgenic steroids?
Yes, it does, because actually, I paused my answer on that because I'm trying to remember my model for this, but I remember having really significant weight fluctuations on, it was in a caloric surplus. So yes, but I think it's indirect. Here's why. When you have high food intake, you have high insulin signaling. And I don't actually know this part. So this is me, I'm speculating, but it seems reasonable that you have a high intake of food, high intake of electrolytes come with that food, high production of insulin that pushes more electrolytes into tissue, and you hold more water, I think. And because of that, you're absorbing throughout the day. And then when you flip that and start digging into losing that glycogen because you burned it while you're asleep, you now no longer have that ability to hold on to that as much. So you start peeing in the middle of the night, and you have just a lot more urine production. Where does HGH come into this, though? It comes in because it allows you to partition a higher calorie intake into contractile tissue, less away from muscle. So you'll see bigger food intakes with HGH. That's how it could contribute. Maybe also the actual sodium handling, but I don't think that would actually affect here. Yeah. Does that make sense?
It depends on how high of a dose you're going. I think higher doses of HGH will impact your weight. If you want to test it, to inject 30 units, but I don't know what his question is specifically.
I do agree with you, and that like it will increase the body weight, but like I think it holds it higher. Like I think he was talking. I thought he was talking about like diurnal, like up and down, up and down.
Yeah, right. It sounds like that. Like I said, it's one of those good questions, but it's like, which question is he asking? Because your question is true, but like for me, it's like, will HGH give you weight fluctuations? Yes, generally you'll be at a higher weight because you're holding more fluid into your various, holes in your system.
Let's do my wet dream of a question here.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I got another good one too that I wanted to get to.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Well,
I'm ready.
While you're looking for that one, let's take this one here. Okay. Is there a synergistic? Let me put that up on the screen. Sorry, guys. Is there a synergistic benefit to combining BPC-157 with GH for chronic orthopedic injuries? I'm sure Josh might be able to help on here too.
I like growth hormone with that, but as far as BPC for a long time, I haven't seen anything that says yes, that's a good combo. The BPC TV500s tend to be just like what is it called, injury related. I've done I did like a month or 2 months of like BPC and I didn't notice any kind of real difference or change in my body at all. So I don't know, but I've tried.
This is an injury model. He is talking about injuries here, I think.
Well, it's chronic injuries. That's what I'm saying. Like, is it a
right?
Know that that's going to mess with your TNF or whatever is actually causing your inflammation to hurt.
See you later, buddy. Talk to you, Gary. Have a good night. Thanks for coming, man.
Let's see. Ever seen somebody succeed? Question. So there's this. I'll put this in the chat right now.
Yeah. I'm looking at the private chat here. So I'm gonna copy these here, and we're gonna put these right in. Oh, you already put it in. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one, ever seen somebody succeed on the SHBG protocol without taking estradiol? My E2 always tests high. I'm wondering if I ran just DHB and nandrolone, nothing else, if my E2 would remain high. It couldn't, because you need testosterone to aromatize to produce estradiol, or you need estradiol injected through an estradiol injectable preparation, or nandrolone basically aromatizes nil. On 1,050 milligrams nandrolone only per week, you usually see between a 6 to a 12 picogram per milliliter E2. So succeed is a super subjective term. What I do notice is nandrolone sensitizes a person to estradiol, which is a known effect of progesterone receptor activation. Progesterone receptor activation increases estradiol receptor alpha. So you're more sensitive to E2 when you take DECA. So why is DECA a gynobomb? You get more sensitive to E2. So the E2 you actually have, you're way more sensitive to it. And that brings me to this. Somebody succeeding on nandrolone only without an estradiol base, you don't usually see low E2 symptoms, actually. I don't. Shout out Tyan Clark, because he's the one who popularized that. And I do believe that's because nandrolone DECA sensitizes you to estradiol receptors, or sensitizes you to estradiol.
Okay.
Yeah. But that said, when I've had people add in estradiol with nandrolone only, they notice that first week of like morning wood again and like rock hard and stuff. But they don't feel low per se. Like they feel fine on nandrolone only. It will work. Like I know I think Alex Keekle uses nandrolone only for his HRT, 300 milligrams a week, I've heard him say. But anytime I've added estradiol in, actually only one case where a guy was on nandrolone only for 4 months, added in estradiol. I've only had one case where a person has done that, and he did do better with the estradiol added in. But with DHB in the mix, I'm not sure, because DHB is allegedly not a aromatase inhibitor. It is a, I don't know, one of the maybe true inert ones. Have you used it?
I've never used DHB, Boldenone. I've only have experience with, Test, of course, Test GH, Tren, Primo, Masteron. Didn't like Primo or Masteron. Primo destroyed my estradiol completely. I had to take about 2 grams of Test to take 100 milligrams of Primo. I have no idea why. Just that's what it does.
Me too.
But I can run like grams of Test and just basically run like an Aromacin whenever I feel a symptom, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. Yep. Aromacin is the best AI for people who intermittently take AIs right away. Or by the way, like instead of taking Arimidex.
Ideally, if you're a TRT guy, you're not needing any kind of AI because you are messing with your.
I mean, sometimes people need it when they first start.
Coagulation blockade. Yeah,
but once your body adjusts, there's no reason to take an AI on therapeutic doses.
For a lot of people.
There was something else I was going to say with that one, just real quick.
Go ahead.
With the guys who want to take Primo but they can't, or EQ but they can't, just take it with estradiol, and you never have to worry about it again. But
and I've seen guys do the HCG thing with those things too, and it's like, well, why does people just take the most obvious thing?
I think HCG and Primo might be brutal though, because you would have the AI symptom of the Primo with the HCG. But at least, if you take it in this on the SHBG protocol, your E2 literally won't budge, even if you're on grams of EQ and Primo.
Right.
So,
well, see, my thing was like, if you want tests, you take tests. Why are guys taking weird stuff to get Primo or to get E2? Like, it's like, take E2. Don't take a D-wall. Don't take more tests. It's like,
Right. And D-ball's an oral too, so it's got that drawback of it. Yeah. I'm not a fan of tests, by the way. So
no, I understand. But I was gonna say, one of the questions you had that we hadn't really gone over was like, does a test base, like the whole idea of a test base, hinder progress for open level bodybuilding?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to put that on the screen right now. Thank you for.
Okay,
This is one I wanted to get to, and this is
what Austin has to say, because I think his experience.
Unless any of you guys have any questions out there and you drop them real quick, this is going to be the last one for the night, guys. Austin here. Let's tackle this one. Can a test base actually hinder progress for open level bodybuilding? Your stance on moving away from traditional test bases has sparked significant interest for deeper explanation.
Right. Really significant interest. That's true. It is better, and measurably so better, when I have had my SHBG stay sustained while on cycle. It isn't possible to do any other way except for removing tests. You can't sustain an SHBG level on steroids when you're taking testosterone. It's not possible. So you need to pull the test for this, and you've got to add the E2 in exogenously as a result. If you take test out, because test lowers SHBG, but DHB doesn't lower SHBG, nandrolone, Tren, Primo even doesn't lower SHBG, you're going to need something else to get estradiol with, because you need estradiol, and also estradiol is required for SHBG to go back up. But my progress, the progress of the, couple dozen people who have been running this, they get measurably more effects from their androgens while taking it. And it makes sense as to why, like, what is the honeymoon period? It is the fact, or it is the period when you start TRT. You go from natural to introducing exogenous test. Your SHBG is usually like 30 or 40, and then it starts going down as soon as you start your first shot. And that's what the honeymoon period is. It's your SHBG level going down, and it never goes back up ever again. That's why it's called the honeymoon period. And usually for some guys, it falls between like 12 to 25, maybe. And I don't think that's a problem. 12 to 25 isn't even bad. But if you're taking super physiological doses like open bodybuilders, it is not possible to sustain an SHBG level while doing that. It's going to be single digit crushed to things like that. Yeah. So what is my direct answer to the question? Show the question again, please, Eric.
You bet.
Let's see. Thanks,
there
man.
We go, right here.
So hinder progress. Can it hinder progress using a test base? It depends what you compare it against. If you compare test base versus the SHBG protocol that I discovered by accident, is that hindering it? I measured more progress when my SHBG was on the way up and over 15. So, in my case, it did. But am I going to claim that globally, that like test makes you small? I won't, because I'll say this thing I've said before again, all of the mass monsters in 2025, everyone is massive. All of them are on test, and they almost all invariably will have a crushed SHBG. So clearly you can get freaking huge still without having a perfect SHBG level. I just measured a faster difference when a measurably faster growth rate and measurably increased morning wood, other proxies for androgen status too. So,
and I would actually agree. Like, the test base does hinder. I think one of the big problems is most people don't do just a big old test, just big tests. Big anything, I think, works better than having a bunch of different things or trying to play with a million different things. Like, I would rather you take a gram of test or a gram of nandrolone or a gram of tren or a gram of, whatever. Just as an example, have that as your, quote, only compound, and then manage the side effects that compound causes for you, if any. You know what I mean? Like, can you take tests in GH on Infinity? Okay, do that.
And it's the cool thing about tests too. It's like, it's kind of baffling how you can do that. Like, and you don't get guys testing their E2 levels and stuff while they're taking like 2 grams of test. Like, I'd be really curious to see. But what I have seen is you'll see guys with like 170 picogram per milliliter E2 on a couple grams of test and on a sensitive assay, LCMS, and they don't even have high E2 problems. And it's like, why is that? It's DHT. DHT is mega potent at blocking the excess effects of estradiol. So you can have stupid high E2 levels, add DHT in the mix, whether through cream, DHT shot, or actual testosterone, then you can get away with some sloppy shit with your E2. Is kind of what I say. Like, that's the issue with this SHBG protocol. You need to know the correct dose, and you have to start off lower than what you need and titrate up. But then once you find it, you never need to change it again. But on this, your sweet spot of E2, it's going to be the same as what it was on test, in my opinion. Like, so say you're on TRT, your E2 is 40. That's your best point. It's going to be the same on this too. But on TRT, you could probably go up to 60 and not be hurting too bad and be in good shape. With this, you probably won't as much because you don't have the DHT effect blocking the excess high estradiol symptoms. So it is a real con with my protocol here. Like, but generally it takes 3 to 5 weeks to get the correct dose of estradiol. And usually you get the benefits in most cases within a couple days. Like, I see guys telling me stuff often within a few days. They're like, whoa.
I mean, you got to have a general idea on E2 dose.
0.25 3 times a week is how I take it.
But no, I like the idea of using a different base besides test, and that's having this whole big old take 300 milligrams of test, then take 700 milligrams of something else. That just sounds like something for a steroid dealer to make more money, because you don't make shit off of tests, but you make a lot more off the exotics ones.
Whoa, another guy with a naturally high SHBG here. Oh, and here's Mason too. But
Oh yeah,
This
right
guy,
here. 10 weeks
like,
in with HRT, but SHBG would go as high as 90 when natty and has come down to 50. With naturally higher SHBG, would I expect to maintain the honeymoon period?
I would wonder why this guy's SHBG is that high, because he looks like that pattern I've seen in like a small number that's growing of people, like a growing
Like
number
Damian
of,
Nowak, right?
yeah, Damien, and then another guy I know overseas too. But if he was carnivore dieting or like keto dieting, and that's why his SHBG got up to that, I would think they could maintain it, because I've seen Damien's results and he kind of seems to just keep like chugging away, and he'll use oxandrolone even to like push
Yeah,
his
yeah.
SHBG.
The oxandrolone helps him a lot, actually.
Yeah, and he's able to sustain his SHBG, so he's like one of those SHBG mutants. So in this guy's case, it's very possible he might. Yeah, I'd wonder what would happen if we took one of these SHBG mutant guys and then like put them on this. Like, not that I'm saying to do that, but I don't know what the highest level or when too high of SHBG becomes a problem, because guys on androgens, you typically never have that problem. Yeah,
I would say
you're always going
SHBG.
down.
I've never tested in it for anyone, so it's like I just gotta go with your word on it, and I know what it uses.
And what are you going to do about it anyway?
Nothing.
Right, because like, how are you going to raise it? You know, most people won't, unless you can't raise it unless you take a very select combination of stuff.
Yeah.
But
and for me, it's like I take my steroids, and then if my logbook is still going fine, I'm not injured, and then I don't worry about SHBG or a lot of other things. Obviously, I care about like my blood pressure, but I don't look at my blood sugar because I'm on a diet most of the time any fucking way. So
yeah, right. I guess it's like when people before they're on TRT, did they check their testosterone level?
Right. But you'd only check it really if you think something's wrong. You know what I mean? That's when people start going to looking like, what's wrong? And it's like, well, you got older and you probably got fatter.
Yeah.
And then your hormones started fucking up. But the quickest way to fix that is to unfuck your hormones first and then do the work.
If people are fine, then they're like, I'm fine. I don't need to change it. And so they're like, I don't even know what my SHBG is. Screw it. And they are fine. Like, you know, most people are always going to be better off on TRT than they always would have been, or going to be experiencing benefits of tests. You don't have to have the perfect SHBG level to get that, but I do find you get a bit more extra, you know, in all the cases.
Oh, I like that.
It's
I like
weird.
the idea. I like the idea.
Well, I mean, there's so many benefits outside of just bodybuilding, right? I mean, libido, and the refractory period, according to what your hypothesis is, anyhow.
Go over refractory period, because I don't have one of those. What's that?
He's another one of those anomalies that could just keep going and going. Talk to Austin about it. He's like, yeah, I could just bust nuts after another. Like, they drop like Skittles.
When I was Austin's age, I could bust nuts like Skittles. But as I got older, I just could just fuck for hours. Bust nuts very often. Unless I take some P5P. So I probably have something wrong with my prolactin, but my whole life I've been like that. Just eternal stamina. I used to count a bunch of times, and now I don't. It's less fun for me. The girls have plenty of fun.
Yeah.
Do you have
Mike on here? He likes talking about this topic.
Well, I mean, dicks are important to
me. Yeah, me too. Mine thinks for me most days.
Yeah, quote that in the short. Dicks are important to me. Live on us.
This reminds me of like this. I don't know how it got to this, but like with my Chat GPT, it was called this fictitious book, like sewing dicks back on and practicing medicine, something. It was like, that's like what it feels like I'm doing sometimes with some people, but
so addicted to me.
Yeah, an extra one. Do you know what your SHBG level is actually in general?
Never in my life have I tested it. Even when I was TRT, they never even tested it. So
do you think there's a chance? Do you feel like you respond better than most people?
Yeah, but that's probably genetic. My father was like college athlete and shit. So, and brother's college
athlete. If it's, do you respond better? Like, you think so? What do you feel?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely
Like
got huge as fuck very quickly on steroids while losing weight. Like strength wise
Oh,
is
like
ridiculous.
yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know
like
how strong I am. I don't live for strength at all, but
no, I don't either. I just basically
Right.
when I started lifting and was on like just TRT, basically in the first 3 months I had maxed out all of my sacks, so I would just 260 pounds, and it's just easy. So basically I had to like learn how to use dumbbells, and now I'm basically done with dumbbells, and now I'm using barbells and heavy ass shit on those machines and belt squat
yeah.
machines. I gotta wind up like 14 fucking plates and shit like that. It's like, what's annoying?
Oh, I know. It's a side effect of steroids.
Yeah,
More
right.
plates.
It's a side
Less days.
effect.
You don't get more days. You just get like just people like, wow, and you work out really hard. I was like, well, I was kind of low weight right now because I'm just trying to do like 5 reps. You're like, that's 700
I'm curious.
pounds. Yeah.
I'm curious you test your levels because imagine that. Like
I can
you're
add
just
it.
another
I mean,
one of these people.
SHBG. I mean, yeah, I'll just add it to
Yeah.
my list. I get.
Yeah, do
I'm
it.
like a blood work addict. Always looking up different shit on mine because, well, I'm trying to run down what's causing what's MCV to be high. And I think it's a copper deficiency caused by too much zinc.
Mhm.
I take too much zinc because I don't want to get an infection because all the kids I'm with are, well, I mean, medically fragile. So I take.
How
zinc.
long has your MCV been high or low?
I'd say high, a little over 100. Like it's really close, but it's like a little bit high. The best thing I found about it is it's got to be the zinc, because I take 100 milligrams, which is a little bit high, and it does come with copper, but not enough to really counter it. So I'm going to go down. I stopped taking my zinc, which is fine, and then in about 2 weeks I'll check my copper and something else.
Is this a one-off or is it like a chronic thing?
Chronic thing. I have a chronic low ALP.
Oh my God. I think you are one of these people. Like Damien has this.
Yeah, sounds like it, right?
He has
chronic low ALP, and steroids are just do awesome shit to me, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Damien you came on to talk with him, I think, when
yeah. That was the one I
did it.
randomly showed
Oh,
up.
yeah, that was the night you hopped on.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We were looking at his blood work, and I was looking at his RDWs because I look at other shit.
Yeah.
Most people are like, oh, his RDWs are all over.
It's interesting that you didn't even mention any of this when he was on.
Didn't even think about it, but no, like I never did the SHBG. So I should get an SHBG chest and something else. What was the other one?
We'll just get a CBC with it so we can see that. Get your SHBG, get your E2, and TSH and T4 or T3 maybe.
Yeah, just tell me what panels you want me to grab, and I'll get them all. Because I mean, I'll go back there in another week or so, and I'll have a.
Let me make my guess here. I'll make my prediction, and then you will work out the funds later when I win. But you can. I kind of want to bet or make a guess that like maybe it's going to be higher than normal.
Couldn't agree more, Tanya.
I was gonna say I'm on 250 test and 750 trend this week, so we'll see.
750 trend, interesting.
Yeah. That's
this is the loading dose, and then I just go to a normal regular daily shot.
So, an anthate or hex
or ACE.
ACE.
So you're loading with trend.
I wanted to load it up and then just stay with ACE on a daily, like normal schedule, and I've had to figure out what feels the best and keeps me at a right level of sleep.
Right.
How long ago did you take this 700 trend?
This morning.
Oh, really? Wow. No,
yeah, I took 300 2 days ago, and then I took 450 this morning.
Dude, how the fuck do you sleep on 700 trend? I can't even imagine it.
Who says I sleep? No, eventually if I get too high, it'll go down to about 2 hours of sleep, but I still run just fine. Which is,
I mean, the fucking sweats alone drive me insane. But actually, it passes. It does pass. It passed for me anyway.
Well, I've got medicine that will kill that for you.
What's that?
Yeah,
anticholinergics will generally turn that off if you want. You can also smash about 600 aspirin and go to bed, and when you wake up in the morning,
or you just blast the freaking AC down to 50, and your wife gets pissed off.
Sleep on a towel.
Me too. That, and I also take Unisom too. So like.
What is the Unisom?
Doxylamine succinate.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's the NyQuil.
Yeah. Gotcha. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I take doxepin at low dose, which acts like Benadryl, but doesn't give you the hangover sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a TCA, but it doesn't have those effects at low doses. So
Oh, that one, like the anxiety one, they kind of prescribe it for anxiety too.
I'm not sure what all they prescribe it for, but it is a tricyclic antidepressant, so they can be used in a lot of different things.
Oh, it's a
At a higher
TCA.
dose. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's
There's
the
a lot
name
of
of the drug?
Doxepin.
Oh, okay.
Tanya runs hot too, guys. She said it
Yeah.
herself. Yeah.
A lot of women run hot. Yeah. Are you Latin?
Yeah.
It's got to be the delts.
Yeah.
Are you
Right.
Latin?
Let's see what Mason's saying too.
Says you only get
I
sweats going on and off trend, peaking, tapering off, never
Yep.
while on steady serum.
Me too.
Makes sense.
too.
It makes sense. You know, you're getting the fluctuations, right?
Mhm.
What we got here from Tanya. Also, she used to depend on Unisom to sleep nightly until she finally tried weed. Well, we all did. Matter of fact,
You waited until
yeah,
30 to try weed?
until she was almost 30. Holy shit. She
I
waited a
went to
long
jail
time.
at 9 years old. You guys are boring as fuck.
I just
Yeah, Trinity says she is smoking fucking hot. What the fuck? Wow, this place is getting crazy tonight. I can only tolerate 70 milligrams a week, says Mason.
When I got to jail at 9.
Roxman didn't do a single thing for her. She says, fuck that shit.
I never tried that.
No, she's not Irish.
Irish Europa.
Cool.
She's a squaw.
All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up tonight. It's been awesome. Next week, we got Dave Perez coming out with My Corner from the My Corner Muscle Project because Dave's out. I forget how many weeks from his show. He's prepping for his show, and he has his recent DEXA scan. Apparently, his GH was bunk, but we're going to be looking at his labs and talking with him. Sch's going to join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I want to say thanks to Josh for coming on tonight, man. I know that you're like you don't have a lot of time because you work your schedule, and then you just hit me up. You're like, I can get out tonight, man. That's cool. So, Austin, I'll pass it off to you, brother, before we take off.
Thank you, guys, everyone. I appreciate all the support. Thank you. You're all very nice people. Thanks. I should probably plug something.
Sure, please do.
If you want coaching for anything or the SHBG protocol, just you got my email in the comments or description, which I have. I know there's people who've been emailing me in there, and I've blown them off. So sorry about that. Just contact me on my Instagram too, either or. Just whatever you want to get a hold of me for, and we could do a consult or coaching. So, thanks.
All right, Austin. And I will plug myself as well. I am Eric at Studio 182 Pro. I have a team. We do graphics design, algorithm, YouTube management, SEO management, shorts, reels, long form content, multicam 4K projects, you name it. We do it. We don't just come with me. We come with a team. We also do web design. So guys, reach out. The links are in the box. Till then, next Thursday, 7 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. And we're going to have a great show with Dave Perez and My Corner from the My Corner Muscle Project. You have a great week and a great week ahead next week. Peace out.